Hi everyone and welcome back to Still Sassy. So I've got a little bit of a different video for you today. I've decided to do a little story about wearing braces because obviously I'm not a young person and I chose to wear braces because I have very crooked teeth and I thought it was time that I had them straightened up. But there's a bit of a story behind that which I'll tell you about, but I also wanted to let you know what it's like to have braces fitted, the good things, the bad things, does it hurt, all that sort of stuff, because I get asked so much by generally older people who have spent all their lives with crooked teeth, who, like me, decided that enough's enough and it's time to get them straightened, and they don't know whether A, they could have them, B, whether it'll make a difference, C, what it'll do to their lives, all that stuff. So I thought I'd jump on here and tell you all that so you can see braces on. And yeah, it all, for me, it started when I was younger, really. I had very crooked teeth, like sticking out and crossed at the front, two at the sides, a lot further back. And I remember being at the dentist and him talking to my mum and dad about having them straightened. Then I was probably about 10 maybe, but obviously things have changed a lot since then, and at that time to have my teeth straightened I would have needed to have, I think it was 4 taken out, 2 from the top, 2 from the bottom, to make room for them to straighten. And I don't know why, and I never have known why, and my mum and dad are no longer here so I can't ask them. They decided that they didn't want me to have any teeth removed, so said no. And that was it. I spent the rest of my life with crooked teeth, and I hated them. I was one of these people that always hid, if I smiled I'd go like that and not want to show my teeth at all, and that was right from being a young girl. And I hated having my picture taken. Now that changed a little bit when I became a journalist, because you can't get through life as a journalist without having your picture taken. So I sort of got used to being in front of the camera a little bit, but I'd still hated smiling, and I would try and smile without opening my mouth if I could. So it wasn't great, and it really did knock my confidence. I'm not sure I knew that at the time, because you just learn to live with them. I'd lived with them for many years and you just get on with it, don't you? Anyway, what happened is I went to the hairdressers and I got sat next to a woman who I was chatting to, and we just got talking about teeth. It turned out she was a dentist, and I was saying to her about my teeth. And what's happened over the years is every dentist that I've gone to, I've talked to them about having braces on, and they've always said to me, you can't have braces on, your teeth aren't strong enough, your gums aren't in good enough condition, whatever. They always had a reason why I couldn't have them on. So I was telling this dentist that, and she had a look in the hairdressers, and she said, there is no reason why you can't have braces on. I don't know why you're being told that you can't. And I think actually what I was being told is probably correct, because things have changed over the years, and braces have evolved, and what they can do for people has evolved. So I don't think the dentists were wrong in my past. It's just that how things are now meant that this dentist was saying to me, you probably could have braces if you wanted them. And she gave me a recommendation of an orthodontist to go see in the town that I live near. And that was it. I went away, had to think about it, and made an appointment to see the orthodontist. And my first appointment was on my birthday. So that was good fun. And what happens is you go along to the orthodontist, you make an appointment, he has a look, he takes x-rays, pictures, which obviously are awful to have taken, and he'll tell you what he thinks he can do for you and how long you might have to have the braces on for. And mine was lovely. I guess they're used to working with a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers who are sulky and not complying and whatever else, but he was such a lovely guy. And he said to me that he could straighten them. He said it would probably take 18 months to 2 years. He talked through the different sorts of braces I could have, and he told me that I would probably need to have an assessment from a dentist because I did have some problems with my gums, which I'm aware of, and he sent me away to have a think about it. So I did. I had to think about it, and I decided I wanted to process it further. So I went to see the dentist as advised, and he did confirm that I had quite a lot of problems with my gums, which I knew. It's something that I inherited from my mum, gum disease, and it means that my gums have never been particularly strong and they are receding. But he said that with some treatment from him, it could make them stronger for me, my gums, and get them into a place where they would be fine to have the braces on. So I went for it, and that took 6 months. So from going to the orthodontist to having my braces on was a full 6 months. So you've got to be patient. And I opted for what used to be called the train track type braces, and that was down to two things really. Price. These were £3,100. Obviously it'll differ wherever you live. I'm in the, well then I was sort of more in the north of the country. I suppose if you're in London or the south it might be different. And a lot of the other options you can have, like the Invisalign ones, the ones that go behind your teeth so you can't see them, the ones that you take out when you're eating, they all worked out a lot more expensive, up to about 8,000 for me. And I just decided it wasn't worth that. I've wasted all this time and I didn't want to put myself in debt or anything to get braces on. I just thought I'd go with these. And strange enough, I wasn't really that bothered about them showing. I sort of wanted to tell the world that I was having something done about these crooked teeth. Now that might seem a little bit strange really, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted people to know that I'd taken action and I got these braces on for a reason. So that's why I went for them. So off I trotted to my first appointment to have them put on. They've done a mould by this time to check like how my teeth are sitting and what they're going to do. And what's it like? Well, it's okay. It's okay. They have to glue all the individual brackets on, and then they put a wire through them, top and bottom, and attach them on somehow. So they put some like resin at the back and they attach to that. And it was okay. It wasn't painful at all. I mean, they're pressing on your teeth because they're sticking the braces on. And if you've got sensitive teeth, like I've got some at the front that are, they have to be careful. They have to put the sort of the thumb behind to squeeze them on to make sure that it didn't cause too much pain. But it was okay. It really was okay. And the worst thing was they had to build up at the back some resin, some blue resin, to stop my mouth from shutting because they needed to give the teeth space to move, and they needed to correct an overbite that I have, so they had to give all my mouth room for all that to happen. That felt awkward because it felt like they were holding my mouth open, and I didn't like that very much. It didn't hurt, it was just strange. It's all strange, that's the thing. It doesn't really hurt, but it's all very strange. And it felt okay. And then I looked at them in the mirror, and at first I was like, oh my God. Because when you see a lot of people with braces on, the teeth like mine now are straightened up. So all the braces look straight as well. Well, mine didn't at first. They have to put the brackets on in a very higgledy-piggledy way. Obviously, that's the only way they can get your teeth to shift. So I had one brace up here, one down there, bracket, sorry, up here, one down there. So the brace itself looked crooked. So not only did I have crooked teeth, but I had a crooked brace. I was like, ugh. And one of them, when I closed my mouth, peeked through the front. But you know what? I just thought, they're on now. There's nothing I can do about it. They did say, you know, they would change quite quickly and they would be altering the brackets and the braces as we went along. So not to worry, things would change quite quickly. And they did. They did do exactly that. I guess it feels at first a little bit like your mouth's full. You don't know how you're ever going to eat again or clean your teeth. As you'd expect, I guess, really. They didn't have to take any teeth out for me in the end because with the new technology they could do it without doing that. So I got this full mouthful of teeth and this brace, and it all just felt a bit packed in there. But like anything, it's like when you have an injection at the dentist, your mouth feels like it's this size and it's actually not. And as the injection wears off, you start to feel okay again. And that's what happened with this. For a few days, I felt a little bit, you know, my teeth felt tight because they put the braces on tight, and I had to be careful what I was eating. But it was okay. So don't fret about having them put on if you decide to go for it. It doesn't hurt at all. You don't need to numb your mouth. If they have to do, sometimes they have to do a little bit of shaving of the bottom of your teeth off. None of it hurts, honestly. If you get a good orthodontist, none of it hurts, so don't be worried about that. So before I tell you how it progresses, I just wanted to tell you the good and bad things about having braces on. Now, the good thing is that it works really quickly, initially. Within 8 weeks, my teeth had started to straighten up. I could see that, and that was really encouraging. because you think, is this ever going to work? So for it to start working so quickly, it was fab. You have to eat quite healthily, because having braces on, you can't eat everything you want to eat. You can't eat easily, and you shouldn't be eating them really. Crisps, crusty bread, nuts, because they can break your braces. Anything very crunchy, you can't bite into an apple, can't bite into anything really, because if you tried to bite into anything, your braces would break. So most things you eat have to be cut up quite small so you can get them in your mouth and chew them. And I just suddenly went onto a very healthy diet. So I was eating a lot of yogurts, a lot of fruit, a lot of veg, some pasta because that's easy and soft. And my diet just became very healthy, and I lost a lot of weight. I lost 3 stones. Now, don't have the braces on just so you can lose weight. That would not be good. But it was a definite bonus because I had some weight to lose and I lost it because of this, which was great. It definitely shifts your mindset. You suddenly feel quite positive about what your teeth, because although you know you're in it for the long haul, you know that it's all going to happen, and the orthodontists are so encouraging that you just believe that it is going to happen, and that's fab. So your mindset shifts a bit. And the confidence increased, because even though I had braces on, because my teeth started to straighten quite quickly, I got much more confident with smiling quite early on. So even though I've got braces on, and they don't always look great, I know that, I was happier to smile without having to hold my hands in front of my teeth, which was such a strange feeling. That never happened before, so that was great. And you get lots of monitoring. So I go back every 8 weeks for my braces looked at, and that's when they make changes to the braces if they're going to make any. And so you've got a lot of support. The dentists are always great. You can ring them in between times and they will sort you out if you've got any problems. I remember in the first couple of days ringing up to say, I don't know if I can do this. And they were really reassuring and everything was fine. So you just feel really nicely supported. The hygienist normally gets involved and you see them every 3 months. So they're keeping on top of your gum health, your tooth health. See the dentist quite a bit, as opposed to the orthodontist at the beginning. All of that stops after a few months and you go back to your normal 6 month reviews. So you just get lots of support with it. So you're never on your own. If you've got any problems, they're always keen to answer. So what are some of the negative things? Well, it takes a long time. You've got to be in it for the long haul, 18 months to 2 years. I'm going to be having mine on. In fact, they're due off in probably about 3 months now, which is why I'm doing this now before they come off. And that for me will be very close to 2 years from when they first went on. So you've got to be committed. When you first have them on, talking is different. I wouldn't say it's difficult, but it's different. You have to learn to talk again a little bit because your mouth can't work how it normally does, and because it's shifting all the time, you've got to adapt to that. And I know even now that when I talk to people, sometimes they don't hear or don't catch what I'm saying, and that's usually if it's noisy. So when I go networking, I've got to make sure I speak really clearly and slowly because I'm a Yorkshire lass, and I've got a tendency to speak very quickly, like a lot of Yorkshire people do. So you've got to slow yourself down, make sure you're pronouncing words as best you can. And it does change. At first I had quite a pronounced lisp, which I've still got a little bit of, as you can hear, but you learn to live with it and things change. So don't let that put you off. It's only for 18 months, 2 years that you've got to think about that. And people are normally really fascinated by the fact that an old person's got braces on. So don't be shy of it. They'll probably ask you some questions and it breaks the ice and it's absolutely fine. You do get quite a lot of sore cheeks because your braces dig in to your cheeks. It's not happening for me now, so it goes in phases. Sometimes they'll be digging, sometimes they're not, because obviously your mouth changes. But what the orthodontist gives you is like some wax, and at first you think, no way am I going to use that. It's wax that you, like solid wax that you melt just a little bit in your fingers, and you put them over the brackets, whichever brackets is the one that's rubbing. You stick it over your brackets, and that just makes it glide against your cheeks, and that stops it happening quite quickly. So and you don't feel it once it's in. You don't feel it, and it comes out when you brush your teeth. You can eat with it in, so it's fine. And one of the things that you have to be aware of is that you have to clean your teeth a lot, especially if you've got the fixed braces on, because you can't take them out to clean your teeth. You've got to clean them after every time you eat anything. So if you had a banana or a biscuit, you'd have to go clean your teeth. Clean them after every meal. And it's not just cleaning them with a toothbrush. You have to use, can't use floss because you can't get them past the brackets and the brace itself. So you've got to use those incidental brushes to push between your teeth, and that has to be done at least twice a day. But I do it after every meal, and all of this is because if you let the tartar build up, the two things: the teeth won't be able to move as they should, but also you'll just get bad teeth, and there's no point in having nice straight teeth if then they're going to go bad and drop out anyway, because anything sugary that you eat will stick around your braces. So you're not really allowed, I know people break the rules, but you shouldn't be eating chocolates and sweets and Haribos. And now I know a lot of children do because they are rule breakers, but as an older person I just thought, no, I'm not doing any of that. I want this to happen quickly and I want it to happen correctly. So I've steered off all of that stuff. The only thing you're supposed to drink is milk, tea or coffee. So you're not supposed to drink booze and you definitely don't drink juice. Now the only time that rule can be broken is if you're eating as well. So if you go out for a meal and you're having a glass of wine, then that's fine because you're going to brush your teeth anyway. So yes, you do have to take your toothbrush out with you, out and about, and when you've finished eating, brush your teeth before you set off home or move on to the next place where you're going to. So it's a faff. It's a definite faff, but it's definitely worth it. And what I do, if I'm drinking and I'm not eating, I break the rules by drinking through a straw. And I've been very eco-conscious and got myself a whole host of metal straws, and I use those. And so that means I can suck the drink into the back of my mouth and avoid my teeth, but I would still brush my teeth quite quickly after I've finished doing that. So that's a little cheat for you if you want to drink when you've got braces in. I can't tell you how many of those straws I've lost. They've been all over the country with me every time I go on holiday abroad, everywhere. I take them with me. I just leave them everywhere because I have a drink and I forget that I've got them. So that's a little bit of a pain. And you can't play any woodwind instruments. So if you're a big saxophonist, which I was, you can't play that or any oboes or flutes or anything with a reed in because you can't make the shape with your mouth. So if you're a musician and that's an issue for you, talk to your orthodontist and your music teacher and see what they have to say. You might be able to fix it so you can, but I certainly couldn't. So bear that in mind. So what happens during all the assessment phase? Well, as I say, you go every 8 weeks or thereabouts. It'll depend on what the orthodontist is trying to do with your braces, but I do every 8 weeks. And they've always got a plan. They're really good. And they generally take the wire, which is a curved shape, generally take that out and fiddle about with the brackets, either moving them or putting elastics in or whatever they need to do. Then they put the wires back in. They might not take the wires out every time. It all depends on what they're doing. And at first they will move some of the brackets out, so they'll ping a bracket off, put it back on the same tooth but in a different place, because obviously they just need to change them to suit what they're trying to do. But none of it hurts, so it's a bit awkward. You have to hold your mouth open. They might, like when I had the resin in the back, they might have to drill some of that down to make your mouth close a bit more. So it's a lot of faffing about, and sometimes my wires got stuck and they've had to really force it out with my head's going like this. But again, it's awkward, but it doesn't hurt, so really don't worry about that. I always take some Nurofen before I go, because when you're finished, it can start to ache a little bit. For a couple of days afterwards, you might feel like you've got a little bit of toothache, but nothing like you need to run to the dentist. Ibuprofen and paracetamol just sorts it out for you, so don't be worried about that at all. The good thing that is fun is that the elastics that they put around each of the brackets, I don't know if you can see the ones I've got on at the moment, you can have those in different colours. So I've had teal, I've had purple, I've had pink, I've had 2 different colours at once. And that's the biggest decision you've got to make, really, is what colour bands do you want to have on for this next round of your braces. So that's quite exciting. I can never decide, and I panic at the last minute. My favourite is pink, followed by the teal. So I tend to have pink on in the summer and teal on in the winter, and then perhaps other colours in the meantime. My orthodontist always says he feels sad when people put the silver ones on, because they just blend into your braces if you've got these sorts of braces on, and he thinks they should go for the colour. So that's what I do. And the strange thing is, when you're having them changed, when they take all the wires out, you feel like your teeth are going to fall out, because you're so used to your teeth feeling tight that you're like, oh my God, I put them back in, my teeth are going to fall out. So I think when they come off properly, it's going to feel quite weird for a little while. But hey ho, that's just what's going to have to happen. I have to say, people are intrigued by having me having braces on, and I do get a lot of people stopping me in the street and commenting. A lot of people say, "Oh, your braces look fab. Look at the sparkly bits of your pink." So you know, it's a talking point, and it's a good thing. It really is. So don't think that you can't have them done, and don't think they'll ruin your life, because they won't. What's next for me? Well, I go back in April. It's March now, so I've got about 2 or 3 weeks when I go back. What they're going to do then is make the mould for my retainer. So this is something you need to know. When you have the braces taken off, your teeth have still got to be held in the shape that your orthodontist has put them in, because if not, they'll start to move again. You know, you probably spent, like me, you know, 40, 50 years with your teeth in one place, and when you move them and force them into a different place, the minute you stop forcing them into that position, they're going to want to start moving again. Now, they might not go back to how bad they were, but they're going to want to move. And you often see, like my son had braces on, and they looked really nice when he had them off, but he didn't wear his retainer, which he should have done, no matter how much I nagged. And although they're still great, his teeth, they have moved again a little bit. So bear that in mind. And what a retainer is, for me, it will be a top and bottom retainer, and it's like plastic, almost like, how can I explain it? It's just like a plastic that actually goes over your teeth. So it's like a U-shaped enclosed plastic bracket that you just slip into your mouth and push up onto your teeth, or into your mouth and down onto your teeth. And I'm guessing that's going to feel quite weird, and you have to wear that overnight. So not through the day, so don't panic about that. But overnight, you have to have them in, because that's, you know, a long time. You have them on for 8, 9 hours, and that's enough to keep your teeth where they need to stay. So they'll be doing the mould for that when I get back. No idea how that works. I'm sure it'll be binded down into something, and they'll go from there. So I'm looking forward to them coming off. I tell you two things when they come off. I will carry on cleaning them like I have been, because it's just a really good thing to keep your mouth and your teeth and your gums healthy. So I'm not going to let that slip. See what I mean about having braces on? Sometimes you just can't get the words out. And I'm going to carry on eating healthily, because I'm nowhere am I putting that weight back on. Never felt so good weight-wise, never been this light, and it suits me. So I'm definitely going to keep up with the weight loss. So that's a quick whiz around what it's like to have braces on. I'm sure I've probably missed something that you're thinking about. Just comment below if you've got any questions, or message me via Facebook or Instagram or wherever you want to find me, and I will answer any questions you've got at all, and hopefully encourage you to have them on if that's what you decide you want to do. Any age, you can have them on. You know, I'm not young, I'm in my 50s, and I still wanted them on, and I'm so pleased that I did. I just hope my mouth stays healthy and they don't all fall out at some point, because then that would be a shame to have waited all that time just for them to fall out, but hopefully that won't happen. So yeah, ask away, any questions, and I'll answer them all. So thanks for listening. Hope you found that useful. Obviously subscribe below and press that bell so you get the notifications when I upload another video, and I'll see you next time. Have a great week, guys. Bye.